Welcome to the Nehemiah Entrepreneurship Community Podcast. I'm your host, Patrice Tsague. I'm here with Debra Schlaht, the Director of Training and Coaching within our project, and Lorna Mutegi. Lorna is a member of the Training and Coaching Department, also the founder and the director, the CEO of Sunergos. Is it Sunergos for Africa? Did I say it right?
Yeah, you can say Sunergos for Africa or just Sunergos. The tagline is Sunergos.
Yes. Well, ladies, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patrice. It's wonderful to be here with you.
How are you both?
Doing very well.
We're going to talk about breaking barriers. And the emphasis today is going to be on the opportunity for those of you listening and watching to become certified trainers and coaches with the Nehemiah Project. And we're going to kind of talk about what that means, what that opportunity presents, and how through that you can be a barrier breaker, both for your life, both for your career, as well as for your nation, your community. I like this subtitle. Rise to the occasion, training coaches stop operating in fear. So breaking in other words, what's stopping you, right? Before we get into our topic, I want to go a little bit back. I want to start with you, Debra. Debra, so last week we had an amazing staff retreat. So, I mean, for those watching and listening, each quarter we do a staff retreat where we come together as a global team for learning, review, reflection, as well as projection for the next quarter, and this is the next year. Debra, how was that? And then once a quarter, we come together live as an HQ team, those in the United States, while others are virtual. So we do a 3-hour digital, and then the rest of us continue live. Lorna, you're supposed to be with us physically, unfortunately, due to a visa backlog that happened. We missed you, Lorna.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
I was not very pleased with that. But yeah, I'm sure we can always make a way.
I know. Well, there's always next year. So,
Yes.
Debra, how was that retreat for you, and how do you feel post-retreat?
Well, Patrice, the retreat, the physical retreat where we come together, there were 10 of us that were staying together in Airbnb, and just that time of camaraderie, having our meals together, having some fun activities that we do together, but really working very hard. And looking forward to the 2023 and what our plans are, that coming alongside one another is really an important piece, and building relationships. In our coaching certification, we say the foundation to growth is relationship. And we walk that out at Nehemiah Project, and the relationships that we built. We had our Jennifer was there from Orlando. We had Trudy from Dallas, Fort Worth, Jamil and Frida from Mexico, as well as our Portland area and Southwest Washington area based team. It was just a great week. And I've dubbed it Operation Sustainability 2023. That's our new title. That's our new title for next year. And
that is right. That is right. The emphasis on sustainability. Well, Lorna, you missed it. It was wonderful, but we'll look forward to seeing you next year. But Lorna, before that, though, I was in Kenya a couple of weeks ago, and you had an amazing launch of the Sunergos Center. It was like kingdom class. I mean, it was chic. Oh. So, first of all, how was the launch for you, and how do you feel post-launch, post-ribbon cutting? You're official now.
I know. Patrice, I keep thinking about it, and I still can't believe that we were able to pull off a live launch that had such great impact for the guests who are able to attend. I still feel like I'm dreaming, but to be honest, I believe I can safely say that was actually one of the best days of my life, because I was in my sweet spot. From beginning to end, I was in my sweet spot. That is exactly why, you could just feel it, even if it was really a lot of work to get it to that point. I just felt so settled, and this is, it was just confirmation over and over that is exactly where I was supposed to be right at that time.
What was neat was how your entire family were there. And it was a family, and how you guys also weaved within the launch theme, the school that your family operates. That must have been gratifying, seeing that united front with the family.
Yeah, that was a big deal. So the theme for the event was Mission for Africa, which is really, it emanates from my calling, my purpose as Lorna Mutegi. But the reason why my family was there is because I could never have had that moment if I never had the opportunity to be able to work with my family at Mirema School, which was really, it really played a big part. It really played a big role in getting me to understand what my calling is. Because if you know my story, Patrice and Debra, it was getting to start Sunergos meant that I had to say goodbye to the family business for a bit, perhaps even change roles. And I wasn't very sure. There was a lot of uncertainty there. But having my family at the launch just meant, that they still love me, they still support me, and we work together. Incidentally, we were having a board meeting today, and, we could see how Sunergos is actually still going to help Mirema School get to the next level. So we are still really one, and that was so good.
I love it. I love it. And right after that, yes, Riwa says that was a great launch. And Riwa, you were an amazing MC. I didn't know Riwa could do that. She was incredible.
Yeah, I know. The thing about working at Nehemiah is that you have to tap into the abilities, your God-given abilities. And so they just kind of pop up from anywhere and everywhere because of the mandate that we have. And so that's just so beautiful. So Rewa did a fantastic job. She's amazing.
One thing that was interesting about your launch is that there were a number of people who, as a result of the launch, decided to become clients of yours, either through the class or through coaching. Was that gratifying to see the fruit of actually people signing up and committing?
Absolutely. It was our day to break the barrier. It was our day to overcome the fear, Patrice, and really just say what we stand for. And so for us, our vision as Sunergos is that we believe in Africa. And so it's about getting Africa to live in its true beauty and strength. It really is time for Africa. And so every single person, including Debra, including Brian, my team, they were there with me. They had been praying for me. They are part of Africa. And so it's really about getting individuals to understand that you already have what it takes. And so as a training and coaching center, all we have to do is just come in there and get you to see that and get you to work, at a high level of excellence, operational excellence, because we are pulled and called into the marketplace. That's one of the pillars of Sunergos. And then the other two pillars are education and family. And as we all know, the enemy is working very, very hard in these areas to just really distract and bring confusion around this space. And so that was such a great moment for us to be able to say, hey, Africa, you've got what it takes. Let's get down and let's get dirty. Let's do the work. Let's get into our calling. And because we already have the skill, we already have the ability. And so that was just wonderful to see people wanting to sign up. Your sister signed up for Identity and Destiny, Patrice, all the way from France, so that was great.
By the way, do you have a BE class coming up?
Oh, yes, we do. We have a BE executive class coming up in February. And so that's the executive class. It's not a very big class because that's where there's a lot of coaching going on for established executives. So we're looking at having, we just have space for about 7, 8 individuals who are ready to take their business to the next level.
I love it.
Yeah, at the
So
moment
if
we
somebody...
have sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, right now we have an identity and destiny class that's actually taking off tomorrow.
Wow. Is that the one my sister's in as well?
That's the one that she's in, yes.
Awesome. So if somebody wants to, right now they're watching and listening, say, I want to be a part of the upcoming identity and destiny class or B class, is there, what do they do?
Okay, yeah. So so they need to just go to our website, which is lornamutegi.com. That's a website that we've put up, really, which just pushes me as a trainer and coach, courtesy of Nehemiah. They can also go to...
Victor, could you put that up real quick, please? So they go to lornamutegi.com, and then from there they can go ahead, continue.
Yeah, they can go right ahead and sign up for the programs. We'll be able to support them, and I'll share the number as well, the Kenya number. Yeah.
Awesome. That's great. Well, speaking of breaking barriers, Debra, you've been a part of watching Lorna break her own barriers as a trainer and coach. It must be gratifying for you seeing her break these barriers, rising as a trainer and coach at that level, even launching a center. What are your thoughts there, Deb? Debra, you're muted.
Sorry. I'm just so proud of Lorna, just really the journey that she's been on. I met her as a student in the biblical entrepreneurship class, and that, a little bit unsure about where she was going and what her next steps would be. And just getting to know her through that class and then seeing the determination that she had, I knew that she would be a wonderful trainer and a coach for those students who came behind her. And as she developed her business plan and continued to walk that out, then began talking about what it would look like if she had a center. And look at her now, she's part of my team. And I just think this is a wonderful way to see over the last 2 years, such tremendous progress that can be made once, as she said, being in your sweet spot, really locating what it is that God's assignment for you and how to use your gifts, skills, and talents. And I'm just so happy to work alongside of her.
I love it. So ladies, let's talk about this idea of breaking barriers. Again, I'm talking with Lorna Mutegi and Debra Schlaht. We're talking about this idea. If you are watching and listening to us and you will happen to be a trainer or coach or aspiring trainer or coach, and you say, I want to hone my skills, I want to become a part of a global movement, a community of coaches and trainers who are kingdom-minded, who can facilitate my growth. I want to get certified. I want to get further enriched and equipped in this area. That's why Debra and Lorna are here. And so let's talk about this idea of breaking barriers. So first of all, what does that mean, breaking barriers? Lorna, you broke barriers. So ladies, who wants to take a shot at it? What does it mean to break barriers?
Yeah, okay, I can go right ahead. So breaking barriers. So I know it may sound a little cliche because everyone's being called right now to break barriers, in the workplace, especially post-COVID. This is a time where we are all being called to be that more innovative, a little more creative, a little more resilient. But can you imagine what it takes to be a kingdom-minded trainer or coach, having to break through the secular space? Because it's really not just about preaching to, believers. It's really about trying to go out and making a change or an impact in the marketplace generally. So if you're a trainer or coach, whatever space you're in or, aspiring to be one, how do you do that in faith? How do you speak to a non-believer and get them, and coach them and get them to get results by using your faith. And so that's really what it is, because we don't want to scare people away, but we do want to tell them, hey, look, there is a method, there is a way that you can actually spread the word as you're making an impact. And so that's what it is. So how do you do that as a Christian trainer and coach? How do you ensure that you're not putting your faith on a shelf, but you're actually getting the secular world to hear you and still spread the good word, and get results as well. So partly that's what it's about.
Deb, you want to add anything to that?
Well, I would, Patrice. I think, oftentimes as trainers and coaches, especially if we're working in our own solo practice, that we may feel that we are alone in that space, that, not sure that there are other groups of Christian trainers and coaches that I can align with and that I can learn from and be able to express and share with my clients my faith as well. We know that there are entrepreneurs that want to really share their faith to their customers, their client base, but they're not sure how to get started either. And really, when we think about Nehemiah as being a community, our e-community that comes together both for our students and our clients, but also our trainers and coaches, where we can come together as one, and that we can support one another, we can learn from one another, and we have an opportunity to advance our faith and to continue to build God's kingdom. Our mission is to build kingdom businesses globally, and there is a hunger and a thirst for that in today's dark world. I believe trainers and coaches are looking for it. I believe that we have entrepreneurs that are desiring that as well, and they're just not sure where to find it. And our opportunity that we bring shows them, as Lorna said, this opportunity to come together and learn how to express it and be able to support other entrepreneurs as they build their kingdom businesses.
Yeah.
I love it. Lorna, I saw you going to say something.
Yeah, I love what Debra has said. So the idea here is how, not to compromise. I think that's a word that just came in. So you don't want to compromise your belief system. And so you want to be able to see, how do I break that barrier and not compromise on my faith? So that's just a word that came out quite strong as I was listening to Debra.
So breaking barriers is about overcoming my fear, right? So that I might rise to the fullest of my potential. It's about being able to allow my light to so shine before men, they may see my good works and glorify them. It's about having the courage to walk out my calling as a coach and a trainer. It's about being bold about the grace of God that's in me, so that I might be able to articulate it in such a way that is consistent with my faith without compromising the call of God in my life or the will of God in my life. So you said breaking barriers. It's about, how do I press beyond that thing that's holding me back from doing all of that? Is that kind of what you guys are saying?
Absolutely, Patrice. It is about we use that term confidence, that I can walk out my faith, that I can do so boldly without fear, that I can do it without worrying about a judgment or condemnation from others that I may do business with. And it is really to fulfill the call that the Lord has made on my life. I know that trainers and coaches have a deep desire to share what they've learned, what they know with others, to help give them a hand to raise them up, raise their businesses up, so that they can fulfill not only their calling, but also to support their families and their communities, their nations. And in order to do that, we want to share our faith in what God's word is for us, his plan for business, and how we can ensure the marketplace replicates or resembles what he has for us. And so I think that this gives us this group, this community that comes together to share, not only to improve how we teach or how we coach, but also to share our faith with others and strengthen them.
Awesome. Awesome. So essentially, Debra, tomorrow's seminar and the upcoming certification course, you're kind of going to be using that as a tool to help people break barriers. Is that kind of thing?
That's right, Patrice. And so tomorrow's seminar is just an opportunity to learn more about, our philosophy, our theology, about how we walk out our faith, how we use that in our training and coaching practices, how they can use it in their own practice, or they can join in one of our e-community centers like Sunergos or Vancouver Center or many of the others that we have around the globe, and be a part of this team. So they can learn more about what that looks like, as well as our process and what it means to become certified to use our training materials and our coaching systems and processes that we've customized, Patrice, that we've developed from our years of coaching other clients. So this is a great time for you to learn more. And then if you're interested, we have 2 classes that are coming up in January, one for trainer certification and one for coach certification. And we'd love to talk to anyone who's interested, wants to know more, so that we can ensure that this is the right place for you to be in.
Awesome. So if you want to learn how to break barrier, maybe your coaching practice is stuck, right? And you're wondering, how do I re-engage my practice to get more client to grow? Maybe you're wondering about being intentional about integrating your faith in your practice. Maybe you're looking to launch a practice and you need to overcome the fears, the unbelief, the limitation that comes with it. I want to invite you to more seminar where you learn how to break barriers, how to overcome the fear. In other words, what's stopping you? So there's a link right there where you can go. There's an interest form you can sign up. You can fill out if you're interested in being a certified coach or trainer with us. There's also a link on being able to register for the tomorrow seminar. There's still space to register. You can go to nehemiahecommunity.com, go to the event page. That will enable you to then be able to sign up and register and be there tomorrow. So let's kind of use Lorna as the case study a little bit. We just talked about how you launched your Sunergos Center this year. This was your first year in full operation, being kind of independent, right? But you didn't start there. Talk a bit about your own journey. People are watching, listening, and say, okay, so you were an operator at school, you were an entrepreneur. Talk about your own journey. How did you break your own barrier to launch not just your training coaching practice, but to be able to actually operate a center? Tell us about your journey, how you broke your own barrier.
Right. So my journey as a trainer and coach started off just during the COVID time, when as a family, at the time, my sister and I were taking on biblical entrepreneurship. So we all know, and for those of us who may not know, this is a program that every entrepreneur needs to take, because it's really about transforming the mind and getting you to determine how you can transform your ordinary business into a kingdom business. And so when I was going through that, I literally so I called this, or I still call it, my green chair moment, #green chair moment, because I was in my sitting room and I was on a green chair. I have a very comfortable seat, which is green. And that is where I heard God's voice. Frank Kitonga, our country director, was actually taking us through the class, and there was a very clear voice telling me, Lorna, you need to come in and help this man with his vision. And his vision was really about getting more entrepreneurs in Kenya to sign up and just get to hear this good news. And so that's the moment that I had. So if you have a green chair moment, I want you to #green chair moment, because that's the point when you get to hear a very clear calling. Now, I got to hear that calling, Patrice, because of having determined who I was, and what my purpose is, and what my calling is, and what my destiny is. And so everything was just gelling together. And that's when I realized that as much as I was confused that God was calling me into a space of training and coaching, I was wondering, God, how can you do this to me when you know that I have a family business? It's, why would you want to pull me out of a space that I know I love and I'm planning? I was in that class to get the family business to the next level. So how do you put this complete opposite thought in my mind? And that's where I started to watch God just work with me and really bring in situations that even you and Debra, I remember having moments where I needed a coach, I needed a mentor to get me to understand this space. Everybody needs a coach, right? And so when you are walking in your calling, it's such a big, hairy, audacious calling. It's so big and scary. Sometimes you need people who know you and who love you to just be a good sounding block. And so that was my journey. It was difficult because I didn't want to leave running the family business because I loved it and I had plans for the business. But when God does call you into a space, you need to obey. You need to obey. And that is how And when I decided that I would obey and listen, even if it was very scary, the trajectory of my life completely just started shooting up. And so I went very quickly. I was voted Best BE Trainer of the Year 2021. I don't know how that happened, but I praise God for it because that was, well, I know how it happened, obviously, but it was such a great, beautiful surprise. That was a confirmation to me. And so what God does is that he continues to elaborate, he continues to validate that journey that you're on. And so you have to really listen, you have to really be intentional, you really have to be quite still and quite calm to be able to hear his voice so that you can go into the space that he wants you to. And then automatically, as I started working as a trainer and coach, I'm in a space where we're teaching biblical principles around business. And I'm thinking, whoa, okay, I'm a Christian. I love the Lord, but I don't know how to interpret scripture. That was such a big challenge for me. And immediately God put in two men. So Frank Itonga recommended this, and a good friend of mine, Gerald Owino, said, hey, I've got the right place for you. And I joined Bible school. I mean, if anyone here knows me, Lorna Mutegi in Bible school, it's ridiculous. It's laughable almost, but that's exactly what it is. And what it was. And so I'm in my second year of School of the Bible, which is under Pastor Jean, the Faithful Life Church. And that has really changed the way I train, the way I coach. My goodness, my relationship with God has just been so good, and just it's brought on a lot of clarity and focus, which is what you need as a trainer and coach. And because I'm naturally wired to want to see good results, I want the same thing for my clients. And so I just combine all these amazing experiences. I get to understand that even if it was hard, I need to bring that with me. And I just bring my authenticity into a class, into a room. And I find that works. And so that is how I was able to break barriers and just overcome the fear. There was a lot of prayer, with family, with friends, with yourselves. I remember having prayer moments with Debra, with you, Patrice, with my teams. And so it's about breaking the fear and getting to understand that when God calls you into a space, it is supposed to be scary because it's so big. You can't imagine that you're actually doing that. And I have been called to speak in churches. I have been called to train groups. I am signing up churches into, getting them to understand that, as a church, there's a place that they can, just get marketplace, moving forward through the Sustainable Church Initiative. Those are spaces I never thought I could be in. I've been invited to, we had a Pastor Freddie who just wants to just give me a ticket to go to Burundi, to go and talk to the people of Burundi, just because of my bringing the aura of trainer and coaching to a room. And so what more, do you need to just understand that this is where God wants you? And so automatically the barriers just keep breaking and you keep moving through.
Wow. Debra, I'm sure you've heard many stories like this. And what's interesting about Lorna's stories is she had to invest in through prayer, preparation, even go beyond the certification course, take Bible school class and so forth. When you hear that, Debra, is that kind of what it takes to break those barriers, being all in?
It sure does. You have to know what God wants for you to do, and you've got to be committed to fulfilling it. I think what Lorna said about, okay, God, yes, I'm all in. And the opportunities seem to just be there. We talk a lot about opportunity being our preparation intersecting with God's timing. And that is really what Lorna has done. Many of our other trainers and coaches as well, is that they prepared themselves. They've understood that God has a calling on their life, what it may be, and they do what they need to do to be ready for the opportunities the Lord has for them. When we show ourselves faithful to answer that call, the Lord is faithful also to help us. And that's true for whether you're an entrepreneur in the marketplace, or whether you and you think, wow, this is not the right timing. Things seems to be kind of in a mess. I'm not sure that I should start a business now or expand my business. But being faithful to answer the call results in many blessings and opportunities that come our way. And it's so fulfilling and so exciting as a trainer and as a coach to watch it happen in others, and be able to use that as encouragement and motivation to help others to see it as well. We know that the fears, our own belief systems, the way the enemy tries to stop us in our tracks, are all ways to keep us from fulfilling the great promise the Lord built into us long before time even began. And now we have this urge to exercise it, to bring it out into the fullness and out into the open and helping others. We can't allow those fears, our past, our failures that may have happened, or things that didn't work out like we hoped, or what others may tell us. We have to be listening to God's voice and fulfilling it each step of the way.
Oh, that's incredible. Our time is coming to an end here, but if you want to attend this seminar where you can learn how to break your own barriers, as Lorna did, just sign up for tomorrow's seminar. Go to nehemiahecommunity.com, go to the events page, sign up, click this link right here on the podcast. Go there, sign up. If you want to sign up for the upcoming January certification, you go to Nehemiah Project eCommunity.com. Go to, I believe they go to a trainer. They go to search for class, and then from there they can sign up the form, because you got to be interviewed and so forth to prepare for it. So, Debra and Lorna, before we wrap up here, so somebody's watching, listening, saying, "Look, what are the criteria? So, what kind of person should consider signing up for tomorrow and beginning this journey? Can you give me a little profile so that way, as they're watching, listening, say, that's me, that's me, that's me." Anything you want to share before we wrap up?
Sure, I'd be glad to. I think it's someone who finds themselves teaching and coaching others. I always say that I started my coaching practice when I was in the 5th grade. I can look back there and see I was helping my fellow students and wanting to advance them and ensure that they were successful. If you have that kind of urge, whether it is providing information, you are teaching in Sunday school, you're teaching at work, you're leading others, and you want to share with them this gift about building kingdom businesses and sharing God's love in the marketplace, then that is a great way to start. If you're already a trainer or a coach and you want to build in kingdom principles, this is the thing that you want to come to. So to learn more, we have a full course. We teach you how to use our material in class, whether it is in a classroom or with a coaching client. We have our own proprietary tools, our curriculum. You know, as a trainer and a coach, Patrice, there's a lot goes into research, development of materials, trying to put it together, testing to see if it works or not. We have done that already for everyone, not only with biblical entrepreneurship, identity and destiny, but serve with love, purpose and profitability. If you like working with young people, our young biblical entrepreneurship program, as well as our coaching program with our proprietary tools for kingdom business coaching. And so we would love to talk with you to see if this is the right fit for you, and what we can do, what your goals are, and how we can help you to succeed and really just spread God's glory into the marketplace.
Oh, I love it. Anything you want to add to that, Lorna?
Yeah, just one thing. It's really just about being a change agent, and that's what it's about. So exactly what Debra has said, it's really about helping individuals and organizations to adopt to new circumstances, to implement new ideas. It's about training and coaching in a at a deeper level, a level where you actually are serving with love, just like the program that Debra has talked about. So if that's a kind of trainer and coach you want to be, a change agent, then this is where you want to be. You want to be with us tomorrow.
I love it. What time tomorrow, Pacific? What time Pacific time?
So that's at 7:30 Pacific time.
What time?
Yes.
What time? Kenya time or East Africa time?
That would be 4:30. My gosh, my goodness, I don't want to share something because we are on different
put on the
times.
calendar. When
Yeah.
you go to the website, you'll see the Pacific time, Eastern time. You'll see European time as well as East African time. Join us tomorrow. And by the way, also join us as well in January so that you can begin your journey towards certification. I have so many other questions for you guys, but my time has come to an end. But I do want to wrap up with this. Before we do, though, I want to give you guys one advice to our listeners and viewers. Before we do, if you want to know more about Lorna Mutegi, about the Sunergos Center, the classes she has coming up, the opportunity for her to walk with you in your own practice, in your own business, whether you are an entrepreneur or a nonprofit leader, whatever the case may be, go to lornamutegi.com, lorna.com. There you can learn more about Lorna, and she's based out of Kenya, and you can kind of she can work with you no matter where you are from around the world. She can work with you to help you grow your business. If you want to know more about the Nehemiah project, how we can come alongside you, whether it's Lorna Center or any other center, we have several centers around the world, in English, in Spanish, in French, and if you need help to be able to for us to walk alongside you, help you grow your business from startup to profitability, from profitability to sustainability, from sustainability to succession, you want to go to nehemiahecommunity.com, nehemiahecommunity.com. There you can learn about our training program, whether it's the certification course we just talked about or any other of the training courses from biblical entrepreneurship, identity and destiny, and so forth, or our coaching program where we can, about group coaching or individual coaching, where coaching come alongside you and work with you in growing your business, or our Access to Capital program. If you need to raise capital, you can learn that as well. Or you can just learn how to become a part of our community, because membership does have its benefit. Together, we can transform the world. Well, ladies, quickly, let me start with you, Lorna. So somebody's watching and listening and say, Lorna, I'm where you were maybe 2 years ago, and I want to begin my own journey. What advice would you give? What's the first step they should do?
It needs to be that they know who they are and why they want to do that, because you need stamina in this journey. You need to know, you need something to keep waking you up every morning to get into this space every single day, because training and coaching is not for the lighthearted. Training and coaching is about getting results. Training and coaching is about motivating people, inspiring men and women, great men and women. Training and coaching is about not just, it's really not consultancy, it's about transfer of knowledge, or, when it comes to coaching, it's really about bringing transformation. And so you have to know where that comes from your core, that you know that this is a space that you want to be in. And then I would say glean in from your experience, and then come on board and get certification around that, because that really just confirms and gives you the foundation, that you need. Because for me, when I got into the Nehemiah certification, I managed to tap into tools that I can use in the marketplace. I have such structure, I have such deep content, and I wouldn't have been able to put that together in a cohesive, structured way. So those would be my starting points. Walk with men and women, such as Nehemiah, such as a training and coaching global network that will walk the journey with you and ensure that you get the tools that you need to be able to just deliver on best practice and operational excellence. And that's exactly what I got when I got my certification. And it's doing wonders for me. I'm always referring to what I got in class, always.
I love it. Deb, so somebody's watching and listening, and they're already certified with another organization, either trainer or coach, just saying, why should I add another certification? Why this one? What advice would you give them?
Well, that's a really good question, Patrice. And, I think the first step is to pray about it. Is God calling you to join us? I think you've got to be called into our organization. The second thing I would say is that, our certification doesn't teach you how to be a trainer or how to be a coach. We're training and providing certification on how to use our kingdom tools and to build kingdom companies. We're giving you curriculum, tools, and processes, and you're learning how to use them and help entrepreneurs implement them into their businesses so that they can build and grow. And as you said, Patrice, go through our life cycle of the business. And it gives you insight into how to execute your faith in your business while helping entrepreneurs to do the same. So it is a opportunity to tap into our curriculum without having to build your own, and to be able to use proven materials that allow for God to speak in through your life, from your life into others as well. So it's a great community of trainers and coaches, of entrepreneurs around the globe, have an opportunity to serve in many communities, other cultures, and be able to, even as Lorna was saying, being invited to come speak or train elsewhere and get to know God's kingdom. So it's a great opportunity to be part of our community and to serve around the globe.
Amen. I love it. I love it. Amen. Well, you heard it here, guys. Listen, joined myself, Lorna, and Debra tomorrow at the seminar.
Yes.
And I think that's it, 7:15 Pacific, 10:15 Eastern Standard US. And then there you'll be able to find the time zones for Kenya as well as for Europe. Join us so you can begin your journey so that you can break whatever barriers holding you back from growing your practice, from launching your calling, or serving people in your community. Listen, I hope you enjoyed this broadcast, and I want to pray for you before you leave. But in the meanwhile, if you've enjoyed it, please share it with friends, share with others, put it in your social media platforms.